Hello everybody and welcome back to Farm Sim 25 and welcome back to our Take Over the Map challenge here on Survival 4X. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight it is time. It is officially June, which means it is basically the best time of the year to sell off our soybean harvest from last year. So, we're going to go ahead and do that. We've got a full truckload of soybeans behind us, and then I think we got to come back and get a little bit more to finish off selling off our soybeans. But once we get it all sold off, I think today's going to be an episode where we go through and we just make the farm look good. I think that's going to be our goal for today. So, yeah, let's get in. Let's get this party started. Let's cover up our soybeans and get our old trucker running. Now, we shouldn't have any troubles getting up the hill. It isn't winter time, for God's sake, and it's nice and dry. So we shouldn't have to worry anything about getting up this hill today. Surely. Surely everything will work perfectly and we'll just go right up the hill. But yeah, I'm excited. So today's going to be a little bit different of an episode. The last couple of episodes we've been focused on our expansion of our fields and our ability to make money. Today is all going to be about trying to make our farm look as good as we can. Now, there's been some things that I've been kind of holding back on in terms of trying to make the farm pretty. And I think it has ultimately hurt us a little bit because it hasn't had quite the aesthetic that I wanted. So, yeah, we're going to try to see if we can't alter that today. Assuming that we can get this truck to get up this hill. Because she does struggle. I mean, look, she just pulled a wheelie. The front wheels are literally coming off the ground. That is the torque of this monster. But she is making it up the hill. Slowly but surely, we are making it up the hill. I gotta say, this might be the very first series of Farm Sim where I've ever had a truck pull a wheelie because it has so much torque, pulling so much weight up such a hill. Like, that's impressive. That is impressive. But yeah, this old truck, man, she does have what it takes. But man, this map puts her to the test. I'll give it that. She has just what it takes. And nothing more. Man, what a map, man. This has been such a fun playthrough. I mean, I do want to apologize for the last episode. I don't know what happened. Something got corrupted during the time lapse because I've never had that error before, and it took me 3 days to finally figure out that it was part of the time lapse that was corrupted, that I just had to cut most of the time lapse out, and that seemed to allow me to finish the video. But it's just a shame because there was a lot of planting that would have been a really, really good time lapse. But unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. I'm sure we'll get to see it again at some point in the future because God knows we got to plant it every single year, so it's going to be a lot of planting. But yeah, here we are in town. We get to roll up in here and see just how much money we make. Now, we have $587,000 in the bank currently. And I got to remind everybody, I don't know if I told you guys this, we paid off our loan. You remember the grain silo complex? Yeah, we own that. There ain't no loan there anymore. Now, I think we're still technically paying on our harvester that we financed, but that should be getting paid off real soon too. So, yeah, I mean, we got our work cut out for us. Let's start with the front. Now, the good news is, I know roughly how much we're going to make, but we also have an environmental bonus that we got to consider as well. So, yeah, that's going to be a good one. So, it's going to be a lot more money than I thought. Because our environmental bonus should be pretty good. Yeah, we're at 91%, so we're getting a 12% increase on our selling today. So, yeah, that's going to be a lot of money. Because, I mean, we should have somewhere around $120,000, $130,000 in soybeans to sell today. And so you get the bonus on top of that, 12% of that. I mean, you're looking at a significant chunk of money. I mean, look at how much we've got already. Over $700,000 in the bank. That was $106,000 plus $13,000 environmental bonus. That is crazy. And we got at least that in the back. So we should be over $800,000 with this alone. And then we got to go back and get a little bit more. I don't think there's enough to fill up another tank, but there's at least a little bit left in there. Probably 20 or 30,000 liters. So that's still going to be another chunk of change. I'm excited. Man, we are making the money now, y'all. Good Lord. Remember, we are still on hard difficulty. I just want to point this out. Like, I have not changed anything economically. Like, we are still on the environment, like the hard difficulty. As soon as it stops saving, I can show you guys. But, yeah, you guys see it right here. I haven't changed any of this. This is still all the same. Like, I want to make sure everybody's clear on that. I don't want anybody to think I'm cheating here. This is hard economy still. But, man, we are raking in the money. That is crazy. Soybeans are insane. Good Lord. Who'd have thunk it? It's only one of the most profitable crops in the game. I knew that, but God bless America. I wasn't even expecting this. I thought we had like $120,000 worth of soybeans. We're over $230,000 worth of, well, yeah, close to $230,000 in soybeans right now that we've sold off. And we got a little bit more to go. That's nuts, man. But, yeah, let's go back across. We'll get into our last load of soybeans and get them sold off. Man, that is nuts. I was not expecting to get this much out of selling off our soybeans. I ain't gonna lie. We're getting close to having a freaking $1 million in the bank, y'all. That's nuts. With no loans. I think we're at that point where taming the wildlands is just a formality at this point. Just a matter of time. We have done everything up to this point, and I think it's paid off. I think we can all agree. Now, I do apologize. Anytime that we look back towards our equipment shed, for whatever reason, it lags like a mother trucker. We start dropping frames like nobody's business. Apparently, having all your equipment in one centralized position, bad idea. Apparently. I wish they would fix that, but, you know, here we are. We'll go ahead and open this thing up. We'll do a loop-the-loop and come back in and get the rest of our soybeans. Now, we want to switch it to the front, and then we'll go ahead and get the rest. Yeah, 37,000 liters more of soybeans. That's not quite a full one. That's about half of a full. That's about half a tank, I think. So we'll get about 50% of a tank. Not even. Maybe 40%. 42%. Alright. But that's the end of our soybeans, y'all. Let's get this taken back. Now, surely she can pull 37,000 liters of soybeans up this hill, right? Right, truck? I'm looking at you. You better not let me down, or you might be finding yourself getting traded in today. You better not even struggle getting up that hill with 37,000 liters. But, man, I was not expecting to make this kind of money today. Like, I knew we had 500,000 liters, and I was expecting maybe $150,000 on top of it. But, man, we blew this one out the water. Oh, here we go again. 37,000 liters. Not enough to make us pull a wheelie this time. But definitely still makes us bog down. And she definitely still slips a little bit. But, I mean, this is a doozy of a hill, man. I can't really blame the truck. This hill is nuts. Always has been. I mean, just look at it. We're driving up the side of a goddamn mountain. See, this is why they have switchbacks. Whoops. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to smack you guys. I do that sometimes. I talk with my hands, and then I smack the microphone. But that's why they have switchbacks. You go up a little bit at a time. Whereas we don't do that here. We just go straight up the side of the mountain. What could go wrong? But man, oh lie, we are absolutely cooking when it comes to money. I don't think my financial advisor is going to be upset with me anymore. I think we may have made some questionable decisions throughout the trip, but the result means that we still have a ton of money in the bank and we are loan free mostly. Like I said, we should be getting very close because it was only a 1-year loan for the harvester. And I know the header's already paid off because it was like a 6-month loan. But man, we are raking in the cash. But old Bessie here, she gets to live a little bit longer. She gets to stay on the farm. She hasn't let us down, so she gets to stay. If she lets us down, we would trade her in. That's the rule, right? If we can't get up that hill, we either trade the truck in or we get the county to make that a cut into that hill a little bit. But our final tally for soybeans is nuts. Another almost another $50,000 in the bank. Let's shut her down. Another $50,000 in the bank. What is that for the total today? Harvest income. Where's the harvest income? Usually it's somewhere around here. Harvest income, $258,938 just from selling the soybeans. That's not including the extra bonus, which was apparently $31,695. So in total, we made $290-ish thousand today from selling our soybeans. $290,000 in soybeans. Good God. All right, I'm going to leave the truck here for the time being. We're going to go back over to the house because we got some work to do. Okay, so let's enter the vehicle. We're going to move this thing out of the way because today is the day that we upgrade our home. At least in my head, that's what's going to happen. All right, so we are going to tear down our old cabin here, and we're going to put up a nicer home. That's going to be step one. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the construction menu, and let's get this party started. You've been a great home for us, but it's time to move on. I want some creature comforts. So we are going to sell this house. We are going to get a total of $8,625 for this house. Yeah, it was time to move on. I forgot about Shadow. Man. All right, well, we can't move Shadow because if we do, I think we delete Shadow, and I don't want to delete Shadow. So we're going to leave that as is. But we are going to go ahead and extend our little pad here. We're going to start at this height, and we are going to extend it. Now, obviously, this is going to look real ugly initially, okay? I get that. We will try to fix everything as we go. I don't know exactly what size footprint we need for this new place, but I want to make sure that we are okay. So, there we have it. Let's go ahead and look at some new farmhouses, shall we? Now, I have one in mind. Let me see if I can find it real quick. We have quite a few to choose from here. But there's one in particular that had a pool. Ah, this one. This is kind of what I was thinking. Looks like we can possibly pull this off. But we might need to go up that direction a little bit. Unless we turned it this way. But then, I mean, I feel like this is about the only way it's going to go. So I feel like we're going to have to do a little bit of cutting. So let's go ahead and do that. We are going to yeet. Alright, let's go forward. And we'll get rid of this big tree here, too. Then we'll clear some of these little pieces of brush out the way. Alright, I think that should do. Alright, let's get my player out of the way, because that was a problem, apparently. Get me out of the way. We'll go back into the construction menu, and then we're going to level off a little bit more of the ground here. Alright, so we'll start here, and we just want to bring this up a little bit. And again, I know this is going to make it look terrible initially, but that's what happens when you build things. It looks terrible initially. But then you make it look pretty afterwards. Alright, so if we go back to the house that we want, the one with the pool, this sucker right here, we should now be able to put this roughly right here. The thing that's driving me crazy is the pool doesn't seem to be, it seems to be sinking into the dirt. So I'm not sure how that works. I'm hoping that when I place this, it'll fix itself. But I think we want it roughly about here. I feel like that's fair. You know what? That tree, we're just going to get rid of Shadow's tree. Shadow, I apologize. Your little tree's got to go. I know he's been your buddy this whole time, but it's time for him to move on. I know, buddy. I know. Alright. That's done. Also, I kind of put mud in your dog bowl. You're going to have to forgive me. We'll fix it, I promise. Let's get rid of this bush, too, while we're at it. Alright. We'll cut these bushes back here, too. Just anything that's close enough that it could be a potential, like, problem. Because we can always beautify things after we're done. Alright. But we want Shadow's house to stay there. And then we want to get back... Oh, my Lanta, the saving. The auto-saves are kicking my butt! Alright. Construction. Farmhouses. House with the pool. Thank you. I feel like this is about where we want to be. Something like there. I feel like that is fair. That is not what I wanted to do at all. Ugh. It's fine. We'll fix it. Yeah. That seems about right. So, we're going to go ahead and slap this sucker right here. We will turn on free mode. $95,000. Put her down. That didn't do what I wanted it to do at all. It literally didn't do what I wanted it to do at all. Okay, it's fine. We can fix it. We can totally fix it. So, first of all, we need to bring this out a little bit further. Clearly. Can't really see. And again, this will all look better when we're done. I know it looks like crap right now. You're just going to have to bear with me. It will look better in a little bit. And then we can actually bring this back as well. Just a little bit. Perfect. That way we got a little bit of a driveway area to maintain places to park. Alright. Now this area that's in here needs to be lowered. So we want to lower this area in here. But just in this area right here. Beautiful. All right, so our pole has officially become a pole. That's a good start. Now, we need to kind of soften everything. So let's go ahead and bring out the soften tool and see if we can't soften everything. To make it look a little better. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Didn't mean to get our faces stuck in the tree. Okay, that looks better. Obviously, we got some work to do over here. Might have to reroute the driveway a little bit, but that's fine. Just trying to make it a little better. Obviously, we're going to have to lower the ground next to old Shadow. Well, his bull is kind of out. I think it might be okay, actually. Surprisingly. Let's try to soften it just a little bit more right in here. Just kind of bring that down just a hair. I do see his bull, though, so I feel like he's going to be okay. Well, okay, so we actually went a little bit too much. Let's bring that back out. We'll do a little bit of level. Just a little bit. There we go. Just don't want to end up in a situation where it's too low. So just a little bit. Just wants to pull that down too far, doesn't it? Yeah, on both corners. Okay. Alright. Well, let's try to go a little bit further out, maybe. Maybe we can kind of tickle it. Just a little tickle. Just a teensy tickle. That's more than a tickle! Oh, terraforming in this game can be so fickle. So fickle. Again, we're just trying to match the area a little bit so it doesn't look completely out of place. All right. Now, the next thing that we're going to have to do, I'm going to have to live with a little bit of the floatingness, unfortunately. We can hide it with something like a fencing or something like that. Something we can get creative. That's the beauty of the game. You got ways to make things pretty. But painting wise, we're gonna have to come in here with some grass and put some grass texture down here. Because we are going to be changing where our driveway is by a little bit. Not a ton, but a little bit. Just going to pull it back a little bit. And you know what? We'll go ahead and do it up here too. Just pull it back a little bit. And then we can always repaint the area to make it pretty. Alright, so looking at this, I think the obvious would be to pull this back to about here. And then bring this driveway essentially right up through here. So we'll also have to pull this back a little bit. So then what we'll do is we've been using the mud light as our base with, I think, about this size. So we just want to kind of bring this up this direction. Beautiful. And then, of course, we would come off of this over here. Right? Put a little bit of extra mud, dirt, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Seems about right to me. Alright, so we've got our path still going up the hill. We've got our driveway. Now, we did put some gravel in, so we'll go ahead and do that. And I will take some money out of our account to do this. But basically, I believe the gravel texture that we ended up putting in is the... this stuff, the dirt gravel, I think. Yeah. And this was a little bit smaller than the mud light. So we should be able to just run this about right. I think we need to go with this, actually. I know that we didn't have this all the way up here before, but we do now. And like I said, I'll deduct some from it. So it'll be fine. We'll say this. I hate how it's like voxeled. There we go. So you still get a little bit of dirt along the sides. So it kind of mixes up the texture a little bit. And then, of course, we bring this up in here as well. It's kind of our driveway, right? Beautiful. All right. So as far as that goes, I mean, for the amount of gravel that we just put in from here all the way to the top, plus this area here, and the terraforming, let's just go ahead and take $50,000 out of our account. I feel like that's more than fair. So what I do here is I remove $50,000. Okay? There you go. So we just paid $50,000 to have this stuff done, which I think is more than fair. It's probably more than would normally be taken out. But you can see our driveway now goes along the side of this. Now, what we can do now is start to look at making this house even more than what it currently is, which is just making it pretty, right? So let's grab our little side-by-side here. We'll park it in our driveway for the time being. Then we can go inside the house. I mean, look at this outdoor freaking like cooking area and bar. Like, oh my god, I love this house. Is that open? It doesn't open. The light doesn't work. Maybe it's automatic. It just... Huh. Why is super strength on? Super strength. How do we turn that off? Super strength is off. Thank you. There we go. Alright. Now maybe I can turn that on. Why is super strength back on? I literally just turned it off. How did it get turned back on? So weird. But anyway, we should be able to go inside, right? Yeah. Oh, there we go. Turn on the lights. Okay, so we do have the lights out here. We will have to adjust this a little bit, it looks like. Is this kind of like a drive here? Is that what this is supposed to be? Because it looks like a ramp. Maybe it's just the way that it's sitting, but maybe I feel like this is like a drive actually. I didn't think about that. Like a covered parking area. Then we got a floating light here. I didn't realize that was the thing. Okay, so we do have a little bit of issues here. We'll see if we can't deal with that. But we did uncover his bull, so let's get Shadow fed. Don't know where he disappeared off to. Alright. Our pole is nice, though. Get in, take a dip. Shadow likes the pole. Let's see if we can't fix this next. Because this is going to drive me crazy. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to go in here. We want to bring out the leveler. And we want to level from inside the house. Bring it out here, right? That way things aren't floating. And then we can kind of go through and soften this a little bit. There we go. So now that's softer. We can always plant grass in here. I'm not that worried about that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get rid of that grass that's currently on there by painting the area. So we're just going to go through and do this. I know that it's supposed to be like a manicured grass, but just doesn't fit with our current aesthetic, right? So we're going to get rid of that. And then we will put in our own grass, which will be normal meadow grass. But we are not going to put it directly all the way up to Shadow here. So we're going to put it like right behind. Dagnabbit. Is there a way to remove? Thank you. Okay. Alright, now we should be able to paint it in a little bit thicker. Like I said, we're going to leave Shadow's little dog box kind of open. And just put a little bit behind. There we go. Perfect. And we'll just go ahead and do this. Shorten this a little bit. Bring this grass right on through here. Right up the side of the drive. Dadgummit. There we go. Alright, do the same thing over here. Beautiful. Now we need to put some grass through here. Perfect. Then along the edge of the driveway. Then along the front. Alright, so that's that. Now, what else do we want? Like, we've got an outdoor dining area and everything, including with the house, so I don't think we need to do anything crazy there. The only thing that I would maybe think about would be putting some sort of fence around this, right? Like, that would make sense to me. So let's go ahead and see if we can't find a good old fence to put around this. Now, aesthetically, it's gotta make sense, right? What about this? What does this look like? We put this from here to there. Boy, that is unfortunate that it has to stop like just short where we want it. Yeah, I guess we're going to have a little bit sticking out on the edges. That's perfectly fine, honestly. I can't do like free mode. Okay, I guess we're gonna go a little bit further than I want. It's toggle snapping. We'll make it the shortest that we can. That's about it there. And then we finish it right there. Alright, now, I don't like how that looks right there, to be perfectly honest. But it is at least fenced in, right? If anything, we would take and maybe paint that grass a little bit differently. So if we go in, grab like the short grass in this area here. To make it look like it's been like weed eated or something, or mowed. So it'll never grow super tall. Alright, that looks a little better. Maybe bring some of that around there. And then we can put this shorter grass over here around old Shadow. Maybe we bring the shorter grass along the edges like it's being kept trimmed a little bit better. In my head, it makes sense anyway. So we've got that done. Do we want to use this area here then? Like, if this is what I think it is, then maybe we should look into trying to fix that next. So if we go in here and we try to soften this, or maybe we lower it. Okay, so it is slightly a ramp. Yeah, I think we actually just go ahead and bring this around. Kind of awkward. If I'd have realized that was a ramp, maybe we could have placed the house in a different spot. Or a different, like, configuration. We'll go ahead and just give ourselves plenty of room here. And then we can paint this area in with our mud light first. And then we go back and grab our dirt gravel. And we just bring that right up here for the landing. I apologize that the camera keeps screwing with our eyeballs. There we go. Perfect. Alright, now we should be able to hopefully soften the edges a little bit better. Dadgummit. Construction. Soften. And again, we're just going to soften the edges. Not the actual driveway. There we go. That looks okay. God bless America, those trees. That looks okay. Alright. Let's bring the old gator, or Kubota, around to the actual covered parking area. Perfect. So now our little Kubota actually has a parking spot. But, yeah, I think this will work for now. As far as the driveway, though, that's the next thing that we need to start looking at. So let's get into the construction menu. So I like having the trees, but we need a spot for the field entry, right? This trees here have to go, just due to the fact that it gets in the way of our actual farming. So these trees are going to go. We'll take care of that in a moment. So let's go ahead and do that. Run over there. I know this is a bit of a different style episode. I hope you guys don't mind. Just little things that we want to work on to make the farm work a little bit nicer. Sometimes I tend to like forget about the whole decorating thing till the very end of a series, and I feel like that kind of hurts us. So I wanna be able to enjoy the look of our farm while farming, you know? Alright. Get rid of this tree. Beautiful. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to do, if we go in here, is we're going to actually come through and get rid of all this like wildflowers and stuff like that, and we're going to tame it. I would normally mow this, but in the interest of saving time, I don't think we're going to today. So what we're going to do is we're just going to bring out our paint tool, and we're going to bring out the grass. Now, we do want to set this to the circle, and we want to bring it right up to the edge of our field without cutting into our field, preferably. And we're just going to paint over the worst of it. One little one little bush trying to ruin my day. Just got to be careful as I come through here. It'll be real easy to mess everything up. We may have to repaint the driveway, but we could do that anytime. Like I said, I'm pretty sure we paid enough money today to warrant any changes that we make to the driveway. Within reason. So we're just going to go through, clean it all up. And obviously, I don't really care about the grass so much. It's mainly the wild flowers and bushes that we're after. Okay, so that's the main road there. So we're not really concerned about that so much. It's mainly the entryway. And then we're going to do the same thing here, but I got to be careful because we're up against our grass field here. So I'm going to just pull this stuff back. I did this initially because I like the color, but I just want to clean everything up. I think it can be done better. That's actually a tree. Can't see crap. Alright, maybe if I come overhead, it'll fix whatever. Alright. Like I said, we'll fix the rest of it at any, or we'll fix the driveway and everything. That won't be a problem. I just wanted to clean all the brush up to kind of make the entryway to our house look a little better. And we're going to continue to this all the way up our property line. Just cleaning everything up. I don't want to remove too many trees or anything like that. Just want to get rid of all the nastiness so that we have a much cleaner area to work with. I can't see crap, man. Boy, the camera does not like us doing this. Keeps like freaking out. Okay. I think that is the majority of that, right? Yeah, I think we're good there. Now we just got to do the same thing up this direction. And I think we'll stop like right here. So we're just going to kind of bring this down along here to the best of our ability. And again, we will fix the driveway. It ain't that big a deal. And we'll do the same thing here. Just kind of clean this whole area up. Alright. That still quite a bit there. Man, you just can't see nothing. Darn trees. How about now? Not really. There we go. Surely that's good, right? Yeah, I think that's fine. Everything else is perfectly fine. All right. So now I think the best way to do it would probably be to go ahead and plant the grass. So we will go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and plant our tall meadow grass. Just because it's going to end up getting painted with a road anyway. So just coming through here, painting everything real quick. Alright, this one's going to be a little bit more of a pain in the backside. Got to be a little more careful. I say as then I go without being careful. Alright. Now the good news is we pretty much know where our... What in the world is that? Oh, is that going to be... Just like this weird little spot. There we go. Alright. So now, we should be able to just go right down through here and remove this, right? So if we just click on this button, we should be able to remove... Oh, I forgot. We got to paint this area up here. Hold that thought. There we go. Alright, so now we can go ahead and clean this up. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just trying to go through and make it look presentable. Okay, we do need to replant or redo that area. So we'll grab our mud light, because this stuff actually doesn't even have gravel. This is just dirt from driving on it. I think that's probably pretty good. Okay, and then we need to go back over to our grass. And then we just remove any grass that's over the top of our driveway. Obviously, we're going to have some spots that we need to work on our driveway. Let's see if we can start down here, maybe. Probably not the most riveting gameplay you've ever seen. I do apologize if this is not your thing, but again, it's just something to break up the monotony of the normal playthrough. I do enjoy the designing of the farm and stuff, and coming up with the layouts and stuff too. All right. So now we need to bring out our mud light. Bring it straight up through here. Beautiful. And then put our gravel back down. Again, the reason I do both textures is because sometimes you're going to get little spots like that where the two textures are kind of both showing up, and it just makes it look different. So it's just not one solid texture all the way up. All right. I think that's probably pretty good, actually. This area right here probably needs to be a little bit better. So let's try to do that. We'll just bring that straight through there. Beautiful. All right, well that already looks a ton better in terms of how everything is presented. Now, the next thing that I want to look at is we should have some things in terms of like the flowers and stuff that we can put in. And so I still want to have some colors. And specifically, I'm thinking the red ones. If we can find those red flowers. That's kind of what I'm looking for. I don't know if this is what it's supposed to be or not. Let me just pop one of these. Where can I put it that's not going to annoy me? Let's just put it right here. Okay, that is the red. Okay. It's like pinkish red. So how do we want to do this? So I'm thinking... Obviously, we need an entryway to the field through here as well. So let's do that before I forget. So we need some mud light coming off of here. And coming over to the field. I generally enter right in through here, so we'll just bring this like this. Something like that. Still have a little bit of grass growing through it, like you've got tracks, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. I think that'll be fine. Just showing that I use this to like drive onto the field. I think that's fair. I just want a little bit of color, but I don't want to overdo it either. Alright, let's go back to the plants. We want the red ones. I think it was this one, or the pink ones. Alright, so if we just come through here, and we do something like, something like that. Just a little bit of flowers around the trees. So that it looks intentional-ish. we go. Yeah, I think it's fine. And then do roughly the same thing over here. Put a little bit of flowers there. A little bit of flowers there. A little bit of flowers there. Just something to give us a little bit of color as we're coming up the driveway. That looks intentional. You know? Yeah. I think that's fine. All right, let's take the Kubota down. We'll just drive the driveway real quick. Just kind of see how everything looks. Feel like this part turned out okay. And we're actually going to go this way. You can see we still got to plant the grass over in this area. But for this bottom section, I think this looks way better. Way nicer. Doesn't feel as crowded, you know? You got some color in here as you're going down through here. Yeah. I think this works beautifully. Perfect. I'm happy with that. All right. Well then, let's park the Kubota. Then we'll go over there and finish planting some grass alongside the road up to the top. Alright, let's pull out the construction menu, and we'll go ahead and plant the grass on this top side. So again, I think the easiest way to do it would just be to, whoops, come up here to the meadow, right? And then just plant the grass in all along through, so that it fills everything in nicely. And then we just go through and we get rid of it. So then we just take and make our cursor a little smaller, and we delete the areas that aren't supposed to have grass. And then we will have to repaint some of it, which is fine. Can't see crap. Something like that. Bring this straight down here. Beautiful. All right. So now we just got to go back through and put the mud light in. Beautiful. Alright, I think there was only one spot that I kind of need to touch up the grass, and that's right here. So we just come over here, switch over to this, just kind of touch it up. Just like that. Alright, so that is officially our first beautification project. I know it's not a lot, and I still want to continue to do more with this area. But I think it's going to make a big deal in terms of, I mean, just look at how it looks now. Like, tell me that doesn't look good, right? The only thing I don't like now is having that water pump right there. And since we don't really have a reason to have it anymore, I think we probably want to just go ahead and get rid of this. So we're going to. We don't really have a reason to have it anymore. We got rid of the raspberry bushes since we didn't need those anymore. And yeah, so we're just going to get rid of this. So let's go ahead and do that. Beautiful. It's gone. No more worries about that. There's like a little weird texture here. Looks like dirt underneath it instead of grass, but you don't really notice it too much. But now, I mean, I'm pretty happy with this. I wish this fence would allow us to go right along the back of this. Unfortunately, that ain't the way it worked. Maybe it would have worked had I started over there instead of over here. But I think you guys get the gist of it. It ain't the worst thing you've ever seen, probably. Probably. But yeah, I'm happy with how this ended up turning out. So anyway, the next thing that I kind of want to look at is buying some new land. So if we go into farmland, the obvious thought would be to go for 23, but 23 is almost all forest, right? So I don't think that's the way we go. And going further this way at the moment doesn't really net us anything. If we go like 14, maybe we would extend this field. But this field can't really extend any further. This field can't really extend unless we want to go up the hill, which I don't really feel like doing. I feel like this field is perfectly fine the way it is. So 4 doesn't really net us much of anything unless we go for 5. If we go 4 and 5, that allows us to make the big field here, right? If we go 14, that allows us to finish this field at some point. Obviously, it's got stuff on it right now, so we wouldn't do it right now. But that would allow us to do that. Otherwise, the next thought would be to come down here to 31 and 32 and start looking at extending this stuff. Now, the downside of this area down here is there's actually quite a few trees in here. And so I'm not 100% sure how well this will end up turning out. Obviously, if I did come through here, I probably would end up getting rid of these trees that are right here and just making this big field, finishing this area for a wheat field. And then that would start opening this bottom section up, which has a lot of farmland opportunity, right? I mean, look at the size of some of these fields in here. This is where we're going to get some big fields too. And again, some of these roads can go away. Not all of these are county roads. Like this road here, technically, would be something that I would consider a personal access road rather than a county road. This is more of a... you've got a county road here coming off this. You've got this weird road here. So we would basically get rid of this section, and then 43 would have this whole area here. Obviously, the county road stays in, so this field would have to be like this. But you could actually make this whole area a field if you wanted to get rid of these trees, which I probably would. Depends on how many trees it is, to be perfectly honest. It may be a situation where it's simply too many trees, not really worth the effort. So maybe we would just, I don't know. This section here is going to be a little awkward. But this section down here has got my eye, for sure. Because this road doesn't need to exist. It's not a county road. It's like a personal access, maybe even a township road, but not really. Because it's just connecting county roads. You don't necessarily need them. This one obviously is a private drive. This one could be considered a county road, I guess, because it goes off the map. This is a private access or private drive. So yeah, I think getting rid of this road that comes through here when we get to here would be a good idea. And then you could have some pretty good sized fields. I mean, those could be fun. But I mean, those would be some of the biggest fields that we own currently if we were able to make that a thing. I mean, just these two pieces here, depending on how much of this is wooded. It doesn't really show on the map just how dense some of the wood is, because we know how dense the wood is next to our house and stuff, and it just looks like sparsely populated trees, right? But yeah, you guys will have to let me know what you guys think. What is our next like expansion land wise? Do we go ahead and start moving over this direction, or do we start moving south to try to get into this big area here? That is the next thing. Obviously, at some point, we're going to end up owning the entire map, but yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards trying to get down into this area down here sooner rather than later. We got $760,000 in the bank, so we got plenty of money to buy a couple of plots of land. So I'm going to wait until I hear back from you guys to make a full decision. So let me know what you guys think. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of a different style episode. And if you like what I'm doing, punch a like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.